Hey everybody, what's up? We're here with a timeless reading. So in the pre-shuffle, I was seeing the Devil and the Two of Swords, and if that has anything to do with what's going on now for you, Devil and Two of Swords can be something popping up that you feel has become a problem and needing to make a choice but having it be difficult, or there can be a temptation for you to maybe do something that you feel could do something for you short term but maybe not long term. I want to see what else comes out. We're starting off with the Ten of Pentacles and the Hierophant. So we have Taurus popping out first. I'm seeing something that you're investing in here. I'm seeing a puppy or a dog. Some of you may be taking care of an animal. You could be fostering. You could be rescuing, purchasing something. Okay. Heavy, heavy Venus here. So Ten of Pentacles puts you in a spot where you're cruising. Things feel good. Things can even feel ideal. You could feel like you're at a very comfortable spot. You could have just achieved a goal. You could just resource-wise be at a spot where you're like, this is good. I'm happy with things the way that they are. Not that there's not room to improve, but it's one of those moments where you're like, if it stayed like this, it would be okay staying like this. To have the Hierophant coming out next to the Queen of Wands and also the Empress here. I feel like there's a higher road that you're taking. Also too, I think that's the Queen of Cups. Having both the Hierophant and Venus here, Taurus is ruled by Venus, and then we have Venus on top of it. There can be things having to do with, think second house with Taurus, like possessions, values, whether they be external valuables or internal moral values, that sort of thing. But I'm also seeing this Queen of Wands come up too. So this can be about you doing things in a way that you feel good about, in a way that you like, in a way that rubs you the right way, in a way where you feel like you're connecting with, I feel like specifically your Venus energy here. I'm getting a strong pull to that. Your Venus can tell you so many different things. It's it's so hard to give just a little bit because Venus can connect with so many different things. It can have to do with your love language, how you give love, how you receive love, the things that you find beautiful, the things that you feel attracted to. It can be the taste of what it is that you create, how you decorate a home, the type of friends, your relationships. Venus has to do with so many different things. But this feels like something going on a personal level. And some of you, you're not the only one here. It looks like there's another energy as well. As we say that, I have the Lovers coming out here and also the Six of Pentacles. So I'm seeing two feminine figures. This feels significant for sure. Just that. So we got Taurus Venus, Gemini Venus. You could be trying to figure out whether or not something's gonna, maybe trying to see how things are gonna pan out with you and another person. I feel like this is wondering about compatibility with them. Ten of Pentacles, you could be working with this person. You could be potentially doing something where your resources would intersect or where you have a common goal with this person. Can also be family too, or part of your community with the Ten of Pentacles. Also, to have the Hierophant above the Lovers, there can be topics coming up of like travel, of different socioeconomic status, different cultural backgrounds, different language or language barrier, things that are like more lofty subjects, like connected with the 9th house is sort of what I'm seeing here. And it can also be like religious beliefs or spirituality, things that are connected with that really like matter to a person on an internal level, and can also be connected with like family values and stuff like that, or the traditions that they're going to begin, that sort of thing. I feel like that's what you're trying to see, like whether or not that's compatible with this person. You may be looking into also seeing like whether or not your Venus placements are compatible, even though I'm just getting that specifically with this. I'm not saying that's how you figure out whether or not you're compatible with somebody. Synastry is very complicated, and that would just be one aspect, and there are lots of other things that can mitigate that if it's not the most compatible placement. So just know that if you're looking at your Venus and another person's Venus, you can use it as a tool, but not as something that like determines things in a black and white way, okay? I'm also seeing Cancer Venus here. It's looking like things are going to work out with you and this person. I don't know who they are, I don't know how you know them, but what I'm seeing is that it looks like you guys are going to find that your belief systems are compatible with one another, and like how you feel like it's right to even walk around in the world. Because when we have an issue with a Hierophant between like us and another person, it can be feeling like another person lacks morals, or they're like too modest. It can be like one or the other, like usually a pole in some way, or like I can't believe that they believe that, or I can't believe that they don't believe that, or like it's that sort of thing, where it's like you may have particular traditions or customs that feel very normal to you, or beliefs or belief systems that feel very normal to you, cultural norms, backgrounds, languages that feel very normal to you, customary to you, and then you can have another person that clashes with. And I mean, sometimes also we can like have things that don't necessarily feel like belief systems that don't necessarily feel compatible, but if it doesn't matter to us like what our partner believes in, then that's going to be a non-issue, you know? So it all just depends on like where one is with all of this. But what I'm seeing is that to have the Hierophant and to have the Lovers here, it feels even like maybe similar ideas of like marriage or like what a relationship is, because Hierophant can also have to do with like it's the higher mind, it's like your philosophies and like how you're seeing things too. And having it above the Lovers, it feels almost like I'm hearing holy matrimony. It just feels like something's really going right between you and this person. And I feel like there's specifically for some reason like a compatibility with your Venus energy. And I don't know like why there's such a focus on that, but I'm getting something specifically with your Venus and this other person's Venus, and them like working really, really well together, and that being something that's like benefiting and supporting your relationship with them. And I'm also seeing that there's still some learning that's going on too. Hierophant can also mean that you're like stepping it up with this person. Like if you're already dating them, you may be taking the next step with them in some way. Or there could be like a bigger commitment or a proposal. But it does feel like things are getting more serious in some way. Being open to learning from one another is going to be super helpful as you move through this. To have the Chariot, it would suggest that maybe something was a bit of like a challenge, or there could have been a little bit of a barrier, but that also says that like when you guys work together, you find a way to work through it, and so it's not a problem. This can also be having 10 of Pentacles. It can be like resource type things. Yeah, also like having Taurus here too. It can be resource type things. It can be what you're putting in the fridge, because Taurus has to do with like what you're eating and stuff. Which also has to do with belief systems too, like dietary stuff can be. Home, anything connected with the home. I mean, also too, like to have the Empress here and to have Cancer here, it can be something like if we have a child together, like what religion are we raising them as, like that sort of thing. This is looking like a very ideal partnership, no matter which way you cut it. I'm seeing a lot of energies that are leading to like your connection. This just landed right over the Lovers. Just something feeling very ideal about you and this person being together and things really working out. I get too that you guys are different enough that it's interesting. For sure. Like we have the Queen of Wands here and we also have the Queen of Cups here. So there's like a little bit of spiciness. There's also like a lot of feeling too, like understanding one's emotions. Like one person may be a little bit more outgoing than the other person. I'm seeing you guys both sort of have like your own vibes, but they're working together with one another. It seems like something that you may not have known how exactly this was going to go, and it's actually super, super compatible. So it really looks like it's working out here. You could have also been in a spot too where like stability was becoming more and more important to you, and you were like, I'm looking for an emotional connection, but I also have certain things that it's important to me that like my partner be connected with these things, or like believe in these things, or have these particular values because they're important, or live like have a compatible code to mine, you know, rather than being with somebody and you feel like things get messy. This is like having Hierophant and the Lovers. You guys agree about the big things. This is like a nice Jupiter placement that you probably have within your synastry with them. I'm seeing also like a lot of communication too. I'm hearing back and forth about like what you guys want, about your history too, I'm seeing. I'm also getting that like both of you guys are receptive to one another too. Yeah, what I'm getting is that there could have been some like unsaid or unspoken expectations, or somebody having like something be important to them and maybe that like didn't translate fully to the other person, but I'm getting that like it ends up working out. So that's what this bump in the road was. This is meaning like, let's say that you're always late, but the other person didn't tell you that they're a stickler for time, okay? And you end up being like maybe 10 minutes late to something, and they're like really upset and you can't figure out what's wrong with them, and then you finally get it out of them and they're like, time is really important to me. It's something like that I'm seeing like may have happened between the two of you, where it just like needed to be worked out and needed to be talked out, but I'm getting both of you guys super receptive with one another. And so I'm just seeing it be like somebody had particular standards, maybe both of you guys, something is being worked out here. It needed to be addressed anyway. I'm seeing you guys be better off for it. Then we have the Empress after it, so love to see it. I also think too that both of you guys are gonna find that I'm seeing that you may have had histories where when you dated people in the past, it wasn't always like the best situations, and really not wanting this relationship to be like that. So I'm seeing both of you guys be in a spot where it's like, we want this to be healthy, we want to communicate with one another. Like, I'm not trying to be in another toxic relationship or situation or perpetuate that in some way, or to not be like watching my shadow and just like let that run loose. So I'm seeing you like really check yourself and this other person doing that, and also checking each other, because I'm getting that, I just get the vibe that both of you guys are ready to settle down in a more serious way, and wanting to make sure that, you know, like if there had been a miscommunication, which it feels like something, I feel like something wasn't said or something wasn't addressed necessarily, or like the other person can't read your mind and so they didn't know, and like a situation happened where that was maybe not what somebody wanted, but it brought to light what they do want, so it ended up benefiting. If not everybody were in a place to communicate, that could have turned into a situation, you know, where somebody's starting to get like resentful, but they're not saying anything because they're mad, but they're not directly communicating, you know. But I'm seeing it not be like that. I'm seeing it be like both of you guys being in this together and wanting to communicate with one another. And even though this little thing came up, like, this is a good thing that it came up. So don't look at this and think anything is going in the wrong direction. This is like healthy communication that I'm seeing between you and this person. I'm seeing you, both of you guys wanting to work together. Coming back to what I was picking up on too, both of you guys, I feel like, have known what like toxic relationships have been like, and maybe not been in the best situations in the past always, and really not wanting this to look like that. And what I'm getting to is that I'm seeing that both of you guys have had to sort of like watch your own back, and you may not have found partners that are like putting you first or watching your back, and it's always just had to be like you against the world. And I feel like you guys are going to move into a space where, rather than feeling, you just know when you're used to having to like stand up for yourself and defend yourself, how sometimes you can look at everybody like that. Something may have happened with you guys where you could have like felt that coming up, but I'm getting that the more you guys go through this, the more you're gonna feel like you guys are on the same team with one another. And I feel like that's actually what you're looking for as well with them too. So if you're on board and your intention is for this to be like a healthy relationship, I'm definitely seeing that be the vibe. Okay? So we have Taurus, Venus, Gemini, Cancer, and I'm seeing Capricorn on the bottom of the deck. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.